Good evening, race fans. Welcome back to the 7th round of the Crazy Dog T-Shirts Xfinity Series, sponsored by Crazy Dog T-Shirts and Subbies. We are here at the virtual Homestead-Miami Speedway. My name is Jake Fescan, on behalf of Team Good Squad, proud to bring you another round of this season for you. This is their first season. We've got a decent field out here. It looks like 17 drivers have made their way out to compete tonight. Homestead-Miami Speedway, a 1.5 mile oval shaped. It's got a little bit of variable banking in the corners, so drivers have a couple different options at their disposal of what they would like to do. And should be a good event. As always, we've got 65% fuel capacity, fixed setups. The drivers have to run all the same settings in their cars, and they've got 2 sets of tires at their disposal. So should be great action. Looks like the drivers are starting to make their way onto the grid. So while they do that, we are going to take the time to bring you everybody's starting order for tonight. Craig Janzik in the 0-2 machine is going to be starting on the pole tonight. Outside of him is going to be none other than the 77 of Ryan Lorenzo. He's back after a 1-week vacation. 55 of James Harris is going to be starting third. Outside of him is going to be 95 of Kyle Holden. Back starting 5th is going to be the 25 of Chris Sawyer. Outside of him in 6th is going to be Justin Gainham. Back inside of row number 4, we've got the 35 of Tyler Meeks. And Harley Belletta in the 81 is going to be rolling off 8th tonight. William Mann Jr. finds himself starting 9th in the 29 machine. Outside him starting 10th is going to be the 15 of Joe Gregory. Dan Oliver puts his 83 machine on the grid in 11th tonight, and Austin Hable going to be rolling off in 12th tonight in the 6th machine. So we work our way back through the rest of tonight's starters. Going to have the 39 of Cam Anderson starting 13th. William Mann Sr. is going to be finding himself starting 14th in the 57 machine. Robert Wynn rolling off 15th tonight in the 16 machine. Charles Whitehead in the 51 Ford Mustang is going to be going off in 16th. Russ Kilgore in the 7 Ford Mustang is our last driver on the grid tonight. He'll be starting in 17th. It's going to be your full field there as the drivers all work their way around. We've got 80 laps scheduled for tonight. Should be some great action. We saw a great race last week at Nashville. They were able to find their way with no cautions, but certainly that was not a lack of action. We'll see if we have the same thing tonight. Getting ready to roll off. Looks like Craig Janzik electing to start on the outside row. And we are under green flag for lap 1. 7th race of the Crazy Dog T-Shirts Xfinity Series presented by Crazy Dog T-Shirts and Subbies. Janzik's going to go side by side with Lorenzo. Looks like Lorenzo's going to try to get a little bit of a lead. Pulls ahead on that bottom line off of turn 2. Gaps out to about a car length or so. Just behind him, you have Kyle Holden running the outside. And then behind him, on the inside of him, you've got Janzik. James Harris in the 55 Subbies machine enters a little bit higher into 3, dives it back down to the bottom. They all work their way. Looks like we're getting single file for the top 4. We've got side by side back behind them for 5th and 6th. That is the 35 Waste Quip Ford Mustang and Tyler Meeks. He's on the inside. Chris Sawyer in the U8 Delphi Chevy Camaros on the outside. It looks like Justin Gainham in the Wonder Bread machine trying to insert himself into this battle, make it a 3-car battle for 5th. He dives off to the inside down the back stretch. He's working inside of Tyler Meeks as they work back into turn number 3. Gainham clears Tyler Meeks. Will put Gainham up into the top 5. You've also got, looks like Harley Valletta in the Crazy Dog t-shirts. 81 Chevy Camaro trying to put himself to the inside. He gets just past Chris Sawyer, battling there side by side as they go through turn number 1 and 2. They're using the middle to high lane through 1 and 2 as they work their way back onto the backstretch off of lap number 3 here. So we're getting single file a little bit quickly, but drivers trying to improve their position. We're going to see some tire fall off happen here, so some guys are going to be kind of searching for the line that fits their car the best. May be changing that throughout the full fuel run. But expect to see probably one stop if we stay green. Drivers will probably split this in half, but we'll have to see how that fuel mileage works out and if any cautions come in to change that strategy at all for them. Get back up to the front. You see Brian Lorenzo leading Kyle Holden by a quarter second on the track. It's about 2 car lengths. About 4 car lengths back is the 02 of Craig Janzik. And then about a car length and a half behind Janzik is the 55 of Harris. These drivers are about a full second ahead of Justin Gainham in 5th place. So front 4 trying to break themselves away. We have seen that these 4 typically have been your 4 fastest drivers each week. Kyle Holden, of course, getting his first victory last week. We've had Lorenzo and Janzik both with 2 wins apiece. James Harris was able to squeak away a win in our 5th round at Talladega Speedway. Lorenzo works his way back off of turn number 4, back onto the front stretch. You see the 2nd through 4th place cars, that's Holden, Janzik, and Harris almost getting themselves equal distance apart from each other. They're sitting right around 2/10 apart, so Lorenzo pulling away just ever so slightly, but we've got a pretty even gap between our top 4. And then you're seeing a little bit of side-by-side back there. Looks like Chris Sawyer ducking out of line. Driver shooting by you at the end of the backstretch back into turn number 3. Like he was maybe a little bit loose, kind of ducking down low off of turn 2. Oftentimes what can happen is these drivers push their cars early on in the run. If they do happen to overheat the tires at all or wear out that right front stress too much, you can oftentimes see them actually turn left off of the outside retaining wall, especially out of turn 2 and turn 4. What ends up happening is their car is not turning, they're putting so much left wheel in to get it, and it's kind of sliding, and then all of a sudden, as soon as the front end starts to actually grab the track and grip, then it just shoots the car left because they got so much wheel in it. But you see Sawyer making a big dive into turn number 3, almost gets to the back bumper of Tyler Meeks. He's going to chase him down. Gainham's about half a second ahead of these 2. This is a battle for 6th and 7th on the track. That 16 car still on the lead lap. Looks like Austin Hable had a bit of an issue to start the race, so he's a couple laps down. Still very early on in this. We're working only lap number 8 of the year tonight. Master Disaster tuning in. He's lending his support for Gainham, trying to will him to the front. Gainham running in the top 5, so thinking that a top 5 is not going to be what Master Disaster is hoping for. I think he's looking for a win out of Justin Gainham and that Wonder Bread machine. But glad to have all the fans tuned in here tonight. We appreciate all of you tuning in each and every week. These drivers appreciate your support as well. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible, and I know a lot of these drivers will go back and watch this and appreciate see everybody that's tuned in. Check out all the support. I love to see the comments, so feel free to leave comments in the chat. Let us know who you're rooting for tonight. Hopefully you're able to hear a little bit better this week. I apologize for all the audio issues we had last week. As always, appreciate the feedback. If anything sounds off, feel free to let me know, and I will try to get it corrected for you guys. But great battle. Again, these front 4 really are trying to keep themselves as tight as possible. Lorenzo, you can see, he's got it almost to a half a second lead now as they work their way back through turn number 3 and 4. But a little bit of high side action by Craig Janzik. He might be exploring that outside line almost up against the wall. Some people kind of call that the the Kyle Larson line. Some people also refer to Tyler Reddick as using that line. Looks like he works the bottom through 1 and 2. He's trying to close in on Kyle Holden. These two separate themselves just slightly from James Harris. They've got about a half a second of lead, but these two almost nose to tail. So great battle on track for second and third. You see Holden working all the way to the bottom. Craig Jancic working all the way at the top. Time through 3 and 4. That's where we saw Jancic made that move to the high side. So you're already starting to see here on lap number 12 some drivers kind of exploring those different lines, seeing what they can find, what the grip their car is going to allow them to do. Let's go back, though, as we've got a little bit of a battle here. Russ Kilgore in the 7 machine. He started back in 17th. He was our last qualifier. He is actually working his way up through the field. You see him quickly working on the 39 at Cam Anderson, the Mountain Dew machine. Trying to dive to the bottom. He's got, looks like the 29 that is William Mann Jr. following behind him. Those two work by Anderson. Mann Jr. side by side with Anderson right now through 3 and 4. Dan Oliver back, just working right behind them. They work their way back onto the front stretch out of turn number 4. This is a battle for 9th through 12th on track. It's a little bit of action back in the field. As I say, the front, so many have separated themselves. These guys have not quite found that same option as they're working their way around down the front stretch. A little bit of a look as they come in a different perspective as they start to kind of single file their way out. William Mann Jr. pulling away a little bit. We still got side by side between Oliver and Anderson. This is for 11th and 12th. Dan Oliver working that high lane. Oh, looks like Anderson makes a little bit of contact with Dan Oliver. That's going to bring out the caution flag. Not sure if that was for that spin. Austin Habel also with a little bit of an issue, but we're going to go to our first caution for tonight. I think that looked like Cam Anderson maybe just kind of pushing up the track a little bit more. Maybe not having quite as much grip as he thought he would. And unfortunately getting into the left rear quarter panel of the 83 of Dan Oliver sends him around. Does a great job, though, saving that. Keeps it off of the wall, so not really any damage incurred for Dan Oliver at all. That car looks pretty clean. I barely even see a mark on that left rear quarter panel as well, so we'll get you a replay of what happened there here shortly. Let's pull that up. You're going to see Cam Anderson. It's gonna, yeah, he just pushes right in a little too hard. Let's see if we can get that in a little bit slow motion for you. Get you to see that a little bit quicker. Let's see. Right there, he gets in. Get that back for you one more time so you can see what we're looking at. Try to take a little bit of a inside look so you can see in relation to that second seam. Anderson just pushes up a little bit. Oliver running about the same distance outside the wall. And Anderson just gets that right front into the left rear of Dan Oliver. Sends him for a 4-wheel drift through the middle of turn 1 and 2 there. That all coming on lap number 15. So we got a few drivers. Looks like everybody, I believe, coming into pit here on the first one. It's going to put Kyle Holden back as the first one off of pit road. So we're going to see a little bit of a shakeup in the order. I think, let's see. Looks like you had some drivers electing to do what is most likely going to be 2 tires, right side tires and fuel. A couple drivers also electing to do 4 fuel and full tires. So we'll get you a recap of that as everybody works their way off of pit road. Get you called out, but Kyle Holden, your new race leader here as we work our first caution under lap 16. So it looks like your front 4, that's going to be Kyle Holden, James Harris, Tyler Meeks, and the 81 of Harley Belletta, all electing to do either fuel only or just right side tires. I would be hard pressed to believe that it was fuel only. I would be guessing they would have at least done right side tires. Then you've got the 77 of Brian Lorenzo and the 02 of Craig Jancic, 5th and 6th, electing to take 4 tires and full fuel. And Joe Gregory, the 15, does the 2 tire stop. Russ Kilgore in the 7 does the full 4 tires and fuel. The Looks like William Mann, 57, goes with 2 tires, and then from back there, it looks like everybody electing to do 4 tires and full fuel. Drivers getting double filed up. Get our restart here next time by lap 18. Kyle Holden again going to be your race leader when we restart. James Harris can be outside of him in second. Tyler Meeks third. Harley Valletta going to be fourth. Brian Lorenzo fifth. Craig Janzik sixth. It's going to be your front 3 rows. Once they get the green flag, pace car will be pulling off this time, and we'll be going back to green. Again, working our first caution of tonight's event for a spin. A little bit of contact between Cam Anderson and Dan Oliver in the middle of turn 1 and 2. Pace car makes the hard left. Off of pit road, we'll see when Kyle Holden elects to go. He's going to work his way into the Geico restart zone, and we are back under green flag. So Kyle Holden's going to lead them back into turn number 1. Take a little bit of a middle entry there. See side by side between that is Janzik and James Harris back there. You've also got Harley Valletta there trying to insert himself into that battle. They work their way. Lorenzo also working on the inside of Tyler Meeks. They're going to go side by side back into turn number 3. This is allow Holding to open up a 4/10 of a second lead. Lorenzo Janzik working the bottom lane. Tyler Meeks working the high side off of turn 4. Puts Lorenzo ahead of Meeks. Janzik falling just behind Meeks. We'll see if he tries to contend with him as they go back into turn number 1. Meeks again running that high side, about a lane off of the outside retaining wall. Janzik working the bottom. Lorenzo quickly pulls to the bottom. He's going to challenge Kyle Holden for the lead. So we've got side by side for the lead now. Lorenzo trying to reclaim that top spot. Dives to the inside. Janzik's going to follow him. Holden running about a lane to a lane and a half up in the middle of 3 and 4. You see Janzik and Holden running side by side off of turn number 4. Gives Lorenzo the lead back on lap number 19. Starting lap number 20, he's got about a 3/10 of a second lead now. Janzik running the extreme bottom against the white line. Kyle Holden running all the way up at the top side there. See if Holden gets a little bit of a run, tries to cross underneath. Looks like he gets sorted out right behind Janzik. Meeks falls back a little bit, so we've got front 4 all side by side. Russ Kilgore running side by side with Harley Valletta. This is for 5th and 6th on track. Kilgore running just above that first scene there in the middle of 3 and 4. He's going to try to clear Harley Valletta. Looks like William Mann Jr. also trying to clear James Harris. So far, does not seem like the 2 tires are working out as well as some people would like. You see Holden Meeks falling back. Also got Harris falling back. He was 2 tire. Harley Valletta falling back. William Mann Jr. trying to work the inside off of turn number 2. He's inside of Harley Valletta as they go down the backstretch. Got to get a little bit more momentum into turn number 3. He's in that high line, able to drive it a little bit deeper. Mann Jr. though works the middle lane, slides up a little bit. We'll see if Barletta tries to cross underneath of him as they work their way down off of turn number 4. Justin Gainham though quickly inserting himself into this battle as well. Got a great battle here. This is for 6th through 9th on track. A couple other drivers try to insert themselves into this. Cam Anderson, you see him working there. Charles Whitehead trying to hang with this. You see him in the red and white just hanging off the back of this pack. We've got a great battle. This is 7 drivers all close to each other, 6, 7 drivers. So Mann's starting to separate himself a little bit from Gainham. Gainham trying to pull away from both Barletta and Anderson. Anderson working the inside. He's also got Charles Whitehead following behind him on the low side. As they go back into turn number 1, you see James Harris working the outside as well behind Harley Valletta. Looks like Anderson definitely not pushing up as high as he was when he got into Dan Oliver. I'm sure the right side tires are helping that. Cam Anderson was one of them that took the full tires and fuel, so I'm sure he's feeling a lot better about it. Charles Whitehead even driving by Cam Anderson, so we're seeing very few people on the 2-tire stop making it work. Looks like Kyle Holden and Meeks up in the front are the only 2 in the top 5 that are able to make it work. Everybody else inside your top 9 are all on the 4-tire stop under this last caution. Great competition though as we are working our way close to the 1/3 mark, just a little bit short of that in tonight's race. Jump back to the front though as you see Janzik trying to hound down Brian Lorenzo. These 2 have opened up a massive gap over Kyle Holden. It is now almost a 3-second gap. These two though only separated by about 0.3. It's equivalent of about 2 to 3 car lengths on track. These two still work in the bottom lane as they work their way off of turn number 2. You see Holden, Russ Kilgore inserting himself into 4th place. He's up 13 spots from a 17th place start. Great job by him tonight. He's trying to hunt down Kyle Holden. Back there, as you see Russ Kilgore, he's lurking. He's running that second seam up off the corner. Coming back out of turn number 4. He's smelling Kyle Holden. Not having the grip level that he wanted with those 2 tires. I think Kilgore smells the chance to get himself into a 3rd place for the first time this season. He's trying to find his way up there. Great job by him. He pulls himself low off of turn number 2. Almost able to get to the inside of Kyle Holden as they work their way back into turn number 3. Holden's going to work just underneath that second seam. Kilgore's going to put himself just underneath, or just above the first seam. It's like he's just going to drive it in, make it stick, so put Russ Kilgore up to 3rd place. He's got almost 4 seconds to go to get to Craig Janzik, but making a power move, getting by Kyle Holden with those fresh 4 tires instead of the 2 tires. Seems definitely be the way to go right now, because Tyler Meeks is quickly also falling under the attack of the 29 of William Mann Jr. And just behind Mann Jr. is going to be Justin Gainham and Charles Whitehead. So everybody on the 2-tire strategy is just not having a good run of it right now. Still got 15 drivers, though, on the lead lap here. So we work our way on lap number 28. Austin Hable in the 6th, your only casualty of tonight's race, completing just 10 laps, unfortunately. Tyler Meeks running the inside. Looks like Mann Jr. going to make the move to the outside as he goes back into turn number 1. Try to take that old lamp whiskey. Chevy Camaro make the power move on the outside. Looks like Justin Gainham and the Wonder Bread Machine going to try to follow him through on the outside as well. He works even with Tyler Meeks. Tyler Meeks unfortunately falling back to victim. Loses 6th place to Gainham. He's back to 7th right now. You see Gainham clears him off of turn number 4. So put Tyler Meeks back into 7th place. It's where he started though, so not all is lost, but definitely made a bit of a strategy call to start, and unfortunately, just not working out so well. Justin Gainham with another supporter. Always love the family members that tune in. He's going to start hunting down William Mann Jr., it looks like. Last time by Justin Gainham, about 3/4 of a tenth faster than William Mann, and he's quickly closing in on him. This is going to be a battle for your final top 5 spot. Mann Jr. currently holds the 5th place. Justin Gainham running in 6th. This last time by Justin Gainham significantly faster. He was about 0.4 of a second faster than Mann Jr. So it's going to be putting the pressure on him soon, quickly trying to put that Wonder Bread Machine into the top 5. It's like Mann Jr. trying to do what he can to hold him off. He's running that middle of the track. So when I spoke earlier in the opening, Homestead-Miami Speedway's got what we call progressive banking, where basically as you step up in sections in the corner, the track actually gets to be a little bit steeper in its banking. So the lowest spot near the white line for the track is going to be the flattest spot. It is still banked, but it's going to be the flattest. And as you get closer to the wall, it's going to get steeper. That steeper banking allows a little bit of more support, a little bit more grip for the cars. They can basically go into the corners a little bit faster and kind of lean on that and use that to help them turn. So you're going to see some drivers start working up as their grip level goes away. They're going to start working their way up to help compensate for that loss of tire grip and mechanical grip. They're going to start using that in the track so they can carry some speed. It'll also allow them to carry a little bit more speed off of the corners, which may potentially allow them to go a little bit faster down the straightaways as well. So that'll be a strategy move you'll see. You see Kyle Holden already working up the top side. A couple other drivers back there doing that as well. Charles Whitehead getting a little bit of wiggly there. He's just behind Tyler Meeks on the backstretch. But we're going to keep looking here. Gainham's quickly working his way. He got close to Tyler or William Mann Jr., but kind of stalled out. Still putting in some lap times that are a little bit quicker, but seems like maybe he's gotten to a bit of that air. It's kind of coming off the back spoiler of Mann Jr. that's kind of ruffled up what we call dirty air, and it's just not allowing that car to grip as well as you would like. You see him trying to work a lane lower than Mann Jr. Try to find some clean air that's undisturbed so that that nose will be able to push down into the track, get a little more grip. It'll be close, though. We're going to jump up to the front, though, as we got a battle for the lead now. Craig Janzik has worked his way to the outside of Brian Lorenzo. Janzik quickly finding his way up to the outside line, running almost against the outside retaining wall, the safer barrier. Cuts it down off of the wall, comes back up to it as they exit out turn 2. They go side by side down the backstretch. Janzik and Lorenzo have been no stranger to on-track battles through the first 5 races of this season, so great job by them. They've always run each other cleanly. We've seen some great action. Looks like Lorenzo gets a little bit of a better run out of the corner, but Janzik carrying the momentum on the outside. He's going to cut to the bottom now, so we're going to see a role reversal as Lorenzo's going to be forced to work the outside lane through 1 and 2. Janzik's going to work the middle of the track. See if Lorenzo's going to get that run on the outside. You see he does. That outside line providing that extra momentum, that boost of speed, powers Brian Lorenzo right by Craig Janzik. Looks like Lorenzo drags a little bit of the wall, though, going into turn number 3. Don't think that upset the car too much. Both drivers finding themselves down to almost the white line this time through 3 and 4. They're going to work back onto the front stretch, put 35 laps in the book. Got 46 left to go in tonight's event. Looks like Chris Sawyer has a bit of an issue. Justin Gainham also jumping into the pits. Not sure if those two are tied together, but we got a caution flag, so we're going to be working our second caution flag tonight, just as we were seeing a great battle between Lorenzo and Janzik is coming on lap number 36 tonight. See if we can take a look at what happened to both of them. Chris Sawyer had a bit of an issue. Justin Gainham also jumping onto the pits a little bit early. It was what I would have expected, an unexpected pit stop. So let's see if we can pull up the replay of what happens to Chris Sawyer here. It's like he's out on his own. Working his way down off of the corner. I believe this is going to be off of turn number 2. You can see him. Oh yeah, he just gets on the throttle a little too hard, gets a little too loose. Starts to spin himself around. Certainly as the grip runs low in these tires, the drivers start to have a bit of a harder time trying to put that power down from the motor. And the lower downforce that these cars provide makes it a lot tougher as well. Cars just want to slide around. That's what brings out our second caution for tonight. And again, for Chris Sawyer's solo spin in the middle of turn number 2 coming off. It's like Charles Whitehead electing to stay out. Dan Oliver also electing to stay out. Rest of the field going to be coming in. Let's see if we can watch the battle off pit road. And I will see after that if I can get you what caused Justin Gainham to elect to come into the pits so unexpectedly. It's like Craig Janzik jumps, Brian Lorenzo. These drivers all looking like they're electing to take right side tires this time. Potentially just fuel only. I think the fuel only might have actually been the call. They took one set earlier, and I think they're all taking it with the expectation that they could go the rest of the way on fuel if we don't have any cautions. And like I said, they might have only taken, I would assume they would have taken 2 tires as well. Let's see if I can find what happened. Caused Justin Gainham to pull into pits. Alright, Chris Sawyer's going to come in. Dan Oliver's going to come in. It's going to leave Charles Whitehead as your lone driver, not pitting under this second caution. Let's see if we could start a little bit further back and see if we can find what happened to Justin Gainham. He was working on the outside of Tyler Meeks. This is coming off of turn 2. You see Gainham coming right at your shot. Works by him. They're going to go side by side down the backstretch. So I want to see if he had, if it really was just a strategy play or if he had some sort of contact that caused him to want to come into pit road. So he's still working the outside of Tyler Meeks. They're going to go into turn number 3. Well off the wall right now, and that wreck for Chris Sawyer happened well behind him. It's not looking like anything that's standing out to me that would be an issue right now. Again, Gainham's just working the top side. I don't see anything that's going to indicate to me why he peeled off so quickly. That was quite a bit earlier, so yeah, I'll try to see if I can dig that out for you and get you a report on that before the end of the race. Driver should be getting the one to go this time by. As you see, the lights go out on the pace cars, so we're going to be getting restarted on lap 41. We'll be halfway done with tonight's events once we get back. Under green flag conditions, we'll reset the field for you. 51 of Charles Whitehead electing to not pit under this caution. He's going to be starting in the lead. We're going to have the O2 of Craig Janzik starting second, Brian Lorenzo in third. Russ Kilgore finds himself in fourth place, Cam Anderson in fifth. And outside of him is going to be the 29 of William Mann Jr., Kyle Holden back in seventh. Looks like Tyler Meeks going to be eighth. Looks like Harley Valletta going to be ninth, and Joe Gregory going to be 10th once we go back to green. It's like front, second through sixth place drivers, all taking fuel only or just 2 right side tires. And then 4 tires for Holden through James Harrison 10th. Joe Gregory, James Harrison's in 11th, Joe Gregory 10th. Dan Oliver with a right side stop. So we get ready to go green here though. Whitehead gets back on the throttle. We are back under green flag conditions here on lap number 41. Let's see, Holden kind of taking a low entry. He's going to shoot all the way up the track. I think that car is going to be struggling for some grip for sure with those older tires compared to the rest of the field. Oh, looks like Meeks gets loose off the corner. Trying to get a hold of him. He's going spinning on the inside line, smacks the inside retaining walls, got some front end damage there. Stays out of the racing lane though, so we're still staying green. Ooh, Charles Whitehead gets into the outside wall. That's going to slow him down. He's got some right side damage. Holden going to work by him. Russ Kilgore is going to try to take advantage of that work by him. Oh, and we're back under caution. Looks like Gainham and Dan Oliver having a bit of an issue. So just as soon as we get going on lap 42, we get another caution, our third for the evening. Brian Lorenzo able to work his way back to the lead. I believe he should still be scored as the race leader at the time of caution. See the pace car working their way through the field. Gonna pick up the field there. Turn number 3. See if we can get your replay of what happened between Justin Gainham and Dan Oliver. Alright, you can see Justin Gainham working to the inside. I believe this will be off of turn number 2. He's in the 69 Wonder Bread machine. Joe Gregory's there in the middle lane. He's in the 15 Subbies machine. Dan Oliver in the 83 Haas Ford Mustang on the outside. And then Chris Sawyer is trying to insert his way. Oh, Gainham Cars just takes a hard right. Just shoots up the track. Gets Dan Oliver. Sends down Oliver off of all fours. Oliver going to roll himself over. Yeah, it looks like he is rolling himself over. Gainham spinning on all 4 tires, but Oliver's spinning his way around. So Dan Oliver catching some bad breaks tonight. And just in the wrong place, wrong time twice now tonight. Unfortunately, this one not able to save and quite a bit more damage out of this one. So I would expect the fast spare is definitely going to be getting put into use for Dan Oliver after that one. But really weird that Gainham's car just shot up like it didn't really show any signs of anything breaking. So not sure if he had a bit of an issue, maybe with some hardware on his end, or if there was maybe something that did go wrong inside the car. But that car just took a hard right with not much of a warning sign from the replay at all. Joe Gregory very fortunate to have avoided that one. He was just in front of that. I believe Chris Sawyer able to avoid that one as well. Just going to put Dan Oliver back to 14th place. He's on pit road. Justin Gainham also now with an extended stay. He's going to be scored 15th place, unfortunately 1 lap down. Looks like everybody else, though, all staying out. Joe Gregory on pit road, Tyler Meeks on pit road, Chris Sawyer on pit road. So 10th place forward, all electing to stay out under our third caution here. So we work lap number 44 of scheduled for tonight. Again, want to thank Crazy Dog T-shirts for being the title sponsor of this league coming on at the beginning of this. I've had them for all 7 races of this season so far. Glad to have them on board. Also have had subbies for the last 3 races. You see them featured on a couple cars. Greatly appreciate them tuning or lending their support for the league coming on board. Great to have these sponsors showing so much support, trust in this league. This has been a great league to watch, call for you guys. Racing's been really respectful. Drivers have been all great, clean. We've had a wide range of skill range, but you can see a lot of guys getting into a lot of great battles around the track. Coming to green at this time by Lorenzo's going to be your race leader. Janzik's on the outside second. Kyle Holden's found himself in third. Charles Whitehead, after that last restart, finds himself in fourth. Russ Kilgore in fifth. Harley Belletta in sixth. Harris in seventh. William Mann Jr. in eighth. Anderson ninth. And it's going to be 57 of Mann Sr. going to be your top 10 once they go green. Lorenzo gets us back under green flag as we are going to be starting lap number 45 there. See Craig Janzik quickly cutting in front of Kyle Holden, trying to fall in behind Lorenzo. It looked like he was going to cut underneath Lorenzo back into turn 1, but thinks better of it. He goes to that second seam. Holden's going to dive to the bottom, try to follow Lorenzo off of turn number 2. Oh, Holden slides up just in front of Janzik. I think he was just trying to carry as much momentum off the corner as possible. It's Brian Lorenzo working the low line through 3 and 4. Holden working the middle there to try to carry that momentum off, see if he can propel himself back into the lead. He's got those 4 fresh tires compared to Lorenzo's expected 2 tires, so it's going to give Kyle Holden that bit of that extra grip, put Kyle Holden back on the point as we are here on lap number 46. We'll start trying to break away from Brian Lorenzo, take advantage of that fresh grip. You see Janzik and James Harris going to work side by side down the backstretch. It's like a kind of bit of a role reversal of what we saw that first caution when Janzik, Lorenzo, most of the other field took 4 tires. A few guys electing to try the 2-tire stop. We're kind of seeing the other thing where that 4 tires so far is proving to be the superior option, but depending on the timing, might not be the right strategy call at different points of the race. James Harris quickly working by Craig Janzik. Now you've got Harley Belletta, the 81 Crazy Dogs t-shirts machine. He's trying to work his way by Janzik. Janzik's just fighting to hold on to keep himself in the top 5. Harley Belletta getting the run down the backstretch, dives to the bottom into turn number 3. Janzik working the middle side, 3 and 4. Harley Belletta working almost to the white line. See his car just grips so much better, powers off at turn number 4. Pulls in front of Craig Janzik to put him up to 4th. Craig Janzik back to 5th. Tyler Meeks is going to be searching for that 5th place spot as well. James Harris able to work his way by Brian Lorenzo. Kyle Holden with a big lead, almost a full second lead over James Harris. Harris in 2nd, Lorenzo in 3rd, Barletta in 4th. So your only 2-tire stop in the top 3. Top 4 is going to be the 77 of Brian Lorenzo, and the last time by Harley Belletta. Almost equal times, but I think he's going to be trying to close down on Brian Lorenzo. That's the field kind of sorting out. We've got side-by-side back here, though. This is the 29 of William Mann Jr., Chris Sawyer, and 25 working the inside. This is for 9th and 10th on track as we're here on lap number 49. You see Sawyer getting by Mann Jr. pretty quickly. Joe Gregory also following up. It's Joe Gregory working the inside of Mann Jr. Sawyer now working on the inside of Mann Sr. Mann Sr. in the 57 White Castle Chevy Camaro. Sawyer puts that UAW Delphi, a bit of a Joe Nemechek throwback. He's going to be running in 8th place. We'll see if Joe Gregory can work his way by William Mann Sr. now. He's going to try to close up in him on the front stretch as they work their way back into turn number 1. Grip levels, big difference there on the tires. See Chris Sawyer working to the inside of Russ Kilgore. I believe Russ Kilgore electing to try the 2-tire stop as well. He's falling back a little bit. Did. Still inside the top 10 though, and up 9 spots from a 17th place start. So great job by Russ Kilgore. Falling back a little bit as Chris Sawyer trying to work his way up. Kyle Holden separating himself as we go back to the front though. He's got a full 1.25 second lead over James Harris. James Harris about a full second ahead of Harley Valletta. Harley Valletta able to work his way by the 77 of Brian Lorenzo. So put your top 3 all on 4 fresh tires under that last caution. So we're working our way on lap number 51 of tonight's race, just 30 to go. Working our way towards the closing third of tonight's event. Lorenzo trying to hold on to 4th place. Tyler Meeks trying to close down on him. Meeks, though, also on a 2-tire strategy. I think Meeks actually did fuel late that last time by, so Meeks and Lorenzo running almost identical times. They're about 0.6 of a second separated apart. That's 4th and 5th. Janzik running in 6th. He's about another 0.75 of a second behind Meeks. So Meeks trying to close up. We'll see what the times are this time by as they complete their 52nd lap. Looks like this last time by Meeks a little bit slower than Brian Lorenzo. Charles Whitehead dives off for an unexpected pit stop. I believe he finally had to come in for fuel. He had stayed out under the last 2 cautions, so not completely unexpected, just off sequence from the rest of the field. Take this chance, though, to get you a full field rundown, though, while we work our way on to lap number 54. Your race leader, 95 Kyle Holden, led the field early on in the race and elected to take 2 tires on the first caution, kind of cycled him back through the field. His 4 tires were providing a little bit of better grip, but cautions have worked out that he's been able to get 4 fresh tires on it, finds himself back in the lead. Got about a just under 1.75 second lead over James Harris. James Harris, 55, Subby's Toyota Supra. He's working his way into turn 3 and 4 along that white line. Finds himself in 2nd, up 1 spot from a 3rd place start for tonight's event. Back in 3rd place, up 5 spots from an 8th place start. We got the 81 Crazy Dog t-shirt machine of Harley Valletta. He, like Harris and Holden, also on that 4-tire strategy off the last caution. Found himself falling back through the field early on, making the obstacle this time, and find himself back towards the front. Tyler Meeks, 35, Police Equip Ford Mustang, finds himself in 4th place, able to work by Brian Lorenzo. He's back inside the top 5. It's been a little bit all over, but the car's pretty clean. Got just a tiny bit of right side damage earlier on. Looks like he's gotten it repaired. He's doing a great job. He's up 3 spots from a 7th place start tonight. Brian Lorenzo, our 5th place runner right now, down 3 spots from a 2nd place start. Running those 2 tires on that last pit stop cycle. Just unfortunately not finding the grip level that he wanted, but still running strong inside the top 5 after a week off. Greg Janzik, your 6th place runner, pole sitter for tonight's event, also on that 2-tire stop. Finds himself almost under the attacker Chris Sawyer. He's been battling with Lorenzo through the middle sections of tonight's event. We'll see how the rest of the race runs if he's able to find his way back inside the top 5. Chris Sawyer down a couple spots, started 5th tonight. Finds himself in 7th right now, but trying to rebound. Doing a great job. He's starting to hunt all over the back of Craig Janzik, though, as he works his way with just 24 laps to go. Russ Kilgore's about 2.5 seconds back of these two. It's in the 57 White Castle Chevy Camaro. Or excuse me, this is William Mann. He's running 8th place, up 6 spots, started 14th tonight, so a great recovery from less than ideal qualifying effort. Doing a great job tonight, trying to put himself inside the top 10. Russ Kilgore in the 7 machine. He's also up 8 spots, started 17th, so doing a great job rebounding from that last place start. Finds himself inside the top 10. He has the 69 of Justin Gainham behind him. Justin Gainham, though, 1 lap off the pace, so not for position on track, working that high side, but doing a great job trying to put in a solid effort, get his season turned back around. William Mann Jr., you see him working his way off of turn number 2. He's your 10th place runner. Down just 1 spot, started 9th tonight, but it's been front and back. We've seen him up towards the top 5, falling back a little bit, so great effort by him tonight. I'll go back to the 39th Mountain Dew Chevy Camaro. That is Cam Anderson working 11th place. He's up a couple spots, started 13th tonight, quickly coming under the attack of Joe Gregory, though. Joe Gregory in the 15 Subbies Toyota Supra. Gregory running 12th right now, trying to find himself back into 11th. Get closer back to that top 10 starting spot that he had in tonight's event. Justin Gainham running, unfortunately, 1 lap down to the field. He's in 13th place. Had a bit of an issue there. Had that spin, unexpected spin where he got into Dan Oliver. Put him back. Had to get some repairs on pit road. Cost him a lap, unfortunately. And your last driver on the track is the 51 of Charles Whitehead. Scored a couple laps down. A bit of a rough race so far. He's in 14th place, but up 2 spots from where he started. You see him just behind the leader, Kyle Holden. That is your full field rundown of everybody on the track, as we've got just 21 laps to go. Get back to Kyle Holden, though. He is cruising away with this lead, opening it up to almost a full second and a half now over James Harris. He's trying to go back-to-back race wins, be the 3rd driver to do that in this season. Get back, though, as you see Chris Sawyer, the 25, trying to work his way back to the top 5. He gets by Craig Janzik. Sawyer running almost the extreme outside line against the outside retaining wall. Kind of coming back down to that second seam. Janzik, getting really loose there off of turn 2 behind Chris Sawyer. He's giving it all the car has, trying to close back to him and recover. Chris Sawyer up to 6th place now. He's going to be trying to chase down Brian Lorenzo, see if he can get himself into that top 5 before the end of tonight's race. Last time by, Sawyer just slightly slower, a little bit under a tenth slower than Lorenzo, so gonna have quite a way to go to close that down. Gonna need to run a little bit faster than Lorenzo, and he's got 2.5 seconds to close down, so definitely is doable with 19 laps to go, but gonna be a bit of a tall task for sure. Gonna go back, as you can see, a little bit of a battle here. This is 10th and 11th. William Mann Jr. and Joe Gregory. Mann Jr. working the outside. Going into turn number 3, he's going to actually favor that middle side. Joe Gregory going to work down to the bottom side just above the first seam. Mann straddling that second seam as they work their way off at turn number 4. Joe Gregory with a great run on the inside. It's going to put him side by side. He's actually going to try to clear Mann Jr. He does, so put Joe Gregory up into the top 10 now. Back to where he started tonight's. William Mann Jr. falls back to 11th place. Come back up to the front. Kyle Holden working his way back ahead of Charles Whitehead, which has not quite been able to pull away from him. Whitehead, I believe Whitehead on fresher tires. Yes, he did come under lap 53. He's the one that stayed out in the last 2 cautions and had to come in. Got a little bit of right side damage to that 51 Ford Mustang. Still trying to hang with Kyle Holden. Cam Anderson coming onto pit road. Pit out of the 12th place. Holden now opening up almost a 2 3/4 second lead over James Harris, so pretty substantial margin. He's going to be hoping that this race goes green the rest of the way. Great job by him, though. Again, looking to go back-to-back. He would be the 3rd driver to do that this season. You see Harris working his way off at turn 2, holding almost a full half of a straightaway lead over James Harris. Pretty big gaps between everybody in the front. Looks like Janzik working his way back around Chris Sawyer. Not sure if Chris Sawyer had a bit of an issue, but Janzik was closing fast, so put Janzik into 6th. Chris Sawyer back to 7th. We'll keep it here, see if Sawyer's going to try to rebound. Close back up to Janzik, get back by him last time by. Janzik was just over a 1/4 of a second faster than Sawyer. See if Sawyer can recover. Russ Kilgore also pitting out. Pits out of the 10th place, or 9th place, excuse me, so puts him back to 12th. Justin Gainham able to recover his way up to 11th. Looks like Sawyer trying to close back down. We'll check the differential in lap times this time by to give Sawyer a chance to recover from his mishap. Mann Jr. works his way by Joe Gregory. Joe Gregory back into 10th last time by. Sawyer about a 1/10 of a second off of Craig Janzik. 35.23 to a 35.34. These drivers, though, are about half a second to 6/10 of a second off of what your leader Kyle Holden is running. And unfortunately, Janzik's about 3 3/4 second behind Brian Lorenzo and not running any faster than him. He's running about the same lap times as Tyler Meeks, who's in 4th, so it's going to be a pretty tough task for Janzik to recover. It looks like just the way these cautions fell in the tire strategy, just had to time it right and hit the 4 tires at the right time. So we have gone green for quite a while since that last caution. Kyle Holden still cruising away. what he can to clear himself of Charles Whitehead. Whitehead with those rusher tires just making life a little bit of a pain for Kyle Holden. Appreciate all of you fans that are tuned in. Let's know who you're rooting for here as we come to the closing stages of tonight's race. It's been a great race so far. A few cautions first half, but for the most part, it's been pretty clean the second half as well. Gotten into one of the more famous Homestead-Miami long runs where drivers start to get sorted out and you really see who's managed their tires well, who's managed their car balance well, is the adequate grip level to be able to continue to push later on. Drivers love having everybody tuned in. Again, a lot of them will either have the broadcast pulled up while they're racing, with a monitor they can look at from inside their sim rigs, or will be going back and reviewing it afterwards. So I'd love to see those messages of support in the chat. We love to see that as well. Love to have all the fans tuned in. So I want to send a big thank you as always to Crazy Dog T-shirts and Subbies both for coming on sponsorship for the Crazy Dog T-shirts Xfinity series. Entering the second half of the season, so get close to that. Seeing some great storylines unfold, some great drivers starting to show their muscle, what they can do. Kyle Holden putting on a clinic, opening up a massive gap for Tyler Meeks. He's got almost 4/10 or 8 seconds now. Probably Beletta James Harris having to come in for scheduled pit stops. I believe they just didn't quite have the fuel to make it all the way, so that's going to shake up your top 5. Put Tyler Meeks up to 2nd. Brian Lorenzo is going to be up to 3rd. Craig Jancic up to 4th. And Joe Gregory finds himself back inside the top 5. Last time by Brian Lorenzo. You see James Harris's fresh tires just motoring on by Tyler Meeks. Just absolutely blowing away. Last time by, though, Brian Lorenzo was about 0.3 of a second faster than Tyler Meeks, and with only a 1.3 second gap and 9 laps to go, that's going to be fun for Tyler Meeks to try to hold on to. We may see Brian Lorenzo be able to work his way back into 2nd. Don't know if Meeks will fall outside of the podium spot of 3rd. Craig Jancic was a little bit faster, but Jancic's also got almost 4 seconds to make up, so not quite enough laps for Jancic to be able to do unless we get a caution. If we get a caution, that can easily shake everything up and make it really interesting. It's like, man, Junior's going to pit out of 6th place. It's going to allow Harley Beletta James Harris to try to recover. Got 8 laps, or 8 drivers in total on the lead lap. We've also got 7 laps to go as Kyle Holden just crosses the start-finish line. Gives you an idea where leader is in relation to Tyler Meeks. Again, that gap is almost 9 seconds now. Holden's just cruising away from the field. Be interested to see, though, if he's got the fuel to do it. He was last in on lap 37, so that's going to be a little bit further than maybe what drivers are expecting to go based on when some of these other drivers are coming in. Not sure if the drivers are trying to take advantage of the fresh tires or if they were actually running out of fuel. See if we can get the feel of that. If we can grab some drivers for post-race interviews after tonight's event. But it will be interesting to see whether or not Kyle Holden can make it on fuel. Craig Jancic pitting out of 4th place. Lorenzo in on 37, so we might have a bit of a fuel game here in the front that could put the race lead potentially to Tyler Meeks. Lorenzo running almost identical lap times to Tyler Meeks the last time by, so got that gap down to around 1.25 seconds, just not able to do it. Oh, and as I do say that, Kyle Holden does come into pit, so I think that fuel was a little bit closer. I don't know if those drivers were banking on a caution coming out, or if he just wasn't quite able to tire save. That's going to put Tyler Meeks to the race lead with 5 laps to go. Unexpected turn of events. I did not get that fuel calculation correct. It's definitely a few laps off on what I thought they could do. Brian Lorenzo also pits out. Joe Gregory in on lap 42. He's going to be right on the edge of being able to make it. Looks like drivers will be able to go about 30 to 35 laps on fuel. Tyler Meeks is going to be your race leader. Joe Gregory finds himself in 2nd. He's almost a full half a lap back. He's just under 17.5 seconds back from Tyler Meeks. Kyle Holden, after pitting, still finds himself in 3rd. James Harris all the way up to 4th. Harley Beletta works by Brian Lorenzo to claim the 5th place spot. Got a bunch of drivers trapped a lap down. Brian Lorenzo, your last one on the lead lap in 6th place. You see him working his way out of out of the apron in turn number 2. So I think he should be just ahead though and be able to do it. Russ Kilgores looks like he's going to try to work by Tyler Meeks on laps himself. So it's going to put 7 back on the lead lap. With the lead that Tyler Meeks has, I'd be pedaling the thing, trying to save as much fuel as I can, knowing that some of my competitors all had to hit out of the race lead or the top 5 to go get fuel. Be working that as much as I can lifting. He's definitely got the time to do that with only 3 laps to go. He could give up quite a bit of time each lap and still be able to save. You saw Chris Sawyer works his way by Tyler Meeks. Sawyer running in the 8th place to put himself back on the lead lap, but we're going to keep an eye on this. This is going to get really interesting. Kyle Holden's going to be booking it to try to get back by Joe Gregory. It's going to be really interesting to see who can do what, as drivers that have pitted, basically everybody except for Tyler Meeks and Joe Gregory, they are all on fresh tires fuel, so they're going to be hustling, trying to go as fast as they can, see if they can make up any last spots before the end of the race, as there's only 2 laps to go. So we'll see if there's any shakeup. Right now, your top 3 still Tyler Meeks, your race leader, Joe Gregory, out 14.5 seconds back. Meeks definitely is back the pace off quite a bit. Gregory running 2nd. Kyle Holden still holding in 3rd place. James Harris 4th. Harley Valletta 5th. Tyler Meeks gonna work his way out of turn number 4. Gets the white flag. You see flagman displaying that. So Meeks seeing the best flag he could. If we get a caution, this race will be done at this point. No extra overtime in tonight's event. He's got a 14-second lead. I think he's probably going to be safe, but certainly be interested to see if the car runs out of fuel. He's probably right on the edge of that fuel window based on what we were seeing everybody do. It's a great job by him playing the cards perfectly. He lays it down. It's going to be your 5th different winner of tonight. Yeah, he's going to work it his off of turn number 4. Crosses the start-finish line. Tyler Meeks, tonight's race winner. Joe Gregory going to work his way through 3 and 4. Let's see if Gregory can hang on. He's got a just over under 4-second lead over Kyle Holden. Gregory with a great 2nd place finish. Kyle Holden's going to bring it home in 3rd. James Harris going to bring it home in 5th. Harley Valletta working his way out of turn number 4. He's going to try to finish in 5th place. So great job by everybody tonight. Definitely saw some different strategies, made for some great plays at the end, some unexpected finishers, but congratulations to the first-time winner, Tyler Meeks. Great job by everybody. We're going to give these drivers a few minutes to celebrate, cool down. You can see Tyler Meeks burning it down in celebration there on the front stretch. He's definitely pumped to get that first win. Great job by him, though. Give all the drivers a minute to collect their thoughts, cool down. Looks like Tyler Meeks gonna definitely take advantage of that first win. If there was any doubt about whether or not he had enough fuel to make it to the end, that's proven that he definitely had some in reserves, because he is lighting it up, celebrating like no other on the front stretch. He had tire life too, because I am not sure how he has not blown out those rear tires. There's going to be rubber on Homestead-Miami Speedway for weeks to come. He is certainly excited over that win. So we'll let him finish up his celebration. Debrief, looks like we got him there. So we're going to pull up our 3rd place driver. Just 1 second, we'll get Kyle Holden up with us, our 3rd place driver. Got with me our 3rd place finisher of tonight's race, Kyle Holden. Kyle, you looked like you were the dominant car for the middle part of the race. In the end, tell me, it looked like pit strategy might have just kind of come into play a little bit there at the end.
Yeah, I think everything just came down to pit strategy. There's a couple guys who stayed out for when we went and pitted, and then when we stayed out, a couple other guys pitted, so they ran away. So it was just all about pitch strategy and who had enough fuel to make it to the end. Really, none of us made it. A couple guys went in pit and got a couple extra laps of fuel, and that ended up working out for them.
Yeah, we saw a few cautions kind of in the middle stages of the race, one relatively early on, and then right around that middle part. Did that kind of change what you were planning to do with the pit strategy? Were you originally planning to do maybe a two tires or a two stop race instead of a one stop, or did that kind of throw a little bit of a wrench in your plans?
The first caution, I was like, it's a little too early to tell what's going on. But after the second one, I knew we had to get tires and was hoping that we might have got another caution there. That's what I was kind of hoping for. But um, instead, we kind of just got a long green flag run there, and that just didn't work out for us.
Well, certainly a great job that way. We saw some drivers favoring that bottom side, but we saw you working your way up towards the top side, about a lane or so off that top wall. Did you feel like that your car started great out at the bottom at the beginning of a run on fresh tires and then you had to progressively move it up the track? Or did you just like that top side for the momentum it was going to provide off the corners?
At the beginning, yeah, the bottom was just where you needed to be. Pretty much the whole way you needed to be on the bottom. But as the run got on, the car got a little tight, and it's kind of hard to get there, especially when you're trying to clutch in to save some fuel to see what you could do. But that didn't work out for us, so we just tried running away. So the bottom's where you got to be, but sometimes it's a little tough to get it down there.
Certainly a great job on a third place finish. Great way to follow up your race win from last week. Anybody you want to send a shout out to or a thank you to before let me go for the evening?
Yeah, huge shout out to you in the booth. Thanks for putting this broadcast on for us, and huge shout out to Team Watson Racing. They always do good things for us, and huge thanks to James and everyone who puts on this league.
Well, congratulations on a great third place finish. Looking forward to momentum from you for the rest of the season, and we'll see you back on track next week.
Appreciate it.
That was your third place finisher, driver 95 Toyota Super Kyle Holden. Gonna get with us our second place finisher, Joe Gregory. I got with me Joe Gregory. I unfortunately did not really get to call you very well last week due to the audio issues. You were in the top five. Wasn't sure if you were going to find your way, but you found your way in a second place finish tonight. Tell me how you managed to put that together tonight.
At that last pit stop, I saw nobody else was coming in, so I went in and topped off on fuel, and I had just enough to make it to the end.
Yeah, it looked like it was definitely a fuel mileage game for everybody. Cautions in the middle kind of changed stuff around. I know talking to a couple of drivers, they were kind of figuring the first one was a little too early, the second ones were kind of falling the right way. Did you have to change your strategy throughout the middle of the races? We got those cautions, especially deciding between two tires or four tires on the pit stops.
No, it kind of just fell in the way it went. I mean, I changed tires once, and so I still had a set to go if there was a caution.
Well, certainly, you made it look like it was a pretty balanced setup. I know some drivers were having a bit of issues kind of pushing up, getting a little bit tight in the middle of the run as the tires were. Did you feel like the car balance for you changed drastically, or did you do a good job managing that right side tire wear to keep a consistent feel throughout tonight?
I never had any problems with it getting tight. I was just as loose on lap one as I was lap 20, but I was taking it easy on the tires.
Oh, congratulations. It's certainly a job well done. A great finish for you. Anybody you want to send a shout out to or thank you to before I let you go celebrate that second place finish?
I just want to send a thank you for broadcasting and thank you for them for putting on the league.
Congratulations. Great second place finish for you, Joe Gregory. Look forward to hopefully get to talk to you sometime soon before the rest of the season.
All right, look forward to it.
That was our second place finisher, driver of the number 15 Toyota Supra, Joe Gregory. We are also going to get with us our race winner, Tyler Meeks. Tyler Meeks, I got the man of the hour with me. You are tonight's race winner. You are the man of the fuel strategy. Tell me how you were able to execute that and put yourself into victory lane tonight.
Yeah, the whole fuel strategy thing. I think because that last caution we had, I took an extra pit lane. Went down the pit road and got an extra, I don't know, 0.2 gallons in the fuel tank. And then upon race chatter, people were saying that they weren't going to make it. So I started letting off the corners way early and kind of 3/4 throttling down the front stretch, and trying to save fuel that way. And I think I somehow managed to save about 5 or 6 gallons between what we should have been able to run.
Oh, that certainly seemed to be the call of the race. When you made that call, did you feel like you were taking a gamble since we had seen those few cautions prior to the point that you were gonna need that long run to be able to make that play work out? Did you feel confident that that was gonna happen, or did you know you just kind of had to throw a dart at the wall and hope that it was gonna work out in your favor?
Well, I was hoping we got a pretty good set of guys in here. So we had that. I had a set of 4 brand new tires, and I came off the corner, turn two, and completely lost it, smacked the wall. kept on going, just whatever. And then they ended up turning themselves in turn 4, I believe, and went in and took a fast repair. And I figured I'm in the back anyway. I got nothing to lose. I might as well come back in one more time and take a little bit of fuel I already burned. And somehow I managed to save enough fuel between that and the end of the race to obviously come up with a win.
Congratulations on that. We had a couple drivers commenting how they were feeling like their cars were able to stay loose throughout the entire run. Had a couple drivers talking about how middle to late stages of the fuel run, they were starting to get a little tight push up. Did you feel like you were kind of able to keep an even balance, or were you staying ahead of that changes by adjusting your driving line, or were you just kind of doing the same thing throughout the whole run and just trying to make it stick each lap?
Yeah, I'd definitely say I was adjusting my driver line for sure. I was loose. I don't know about anyone else, but I see him. I was on the loose end the whole time. I only took one set of tires the whole race, and then, like I said, after spinning, I didn't took a second. I kept the same set of tires I spun with because I just put them on. So I wore those out pretty good by locking them up and getting back going. And I'd for sure say that I was fighting looseness the whole time and kind of changing my lines up to see where all the grip was at. And then once I heard people were going to start running out of gas and people started pitting, I started taking the low line, trying to just take the shortest route around the course and save fuel that way also.
Well, job well done. Definitely a great win. Perfect execution there. You couldn't have timed that any better. Anybody you want to send a shout out to before I let you go celebrate your victory tonight?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Crazy Dog T-shirts for sponsoring us, Team Goon Squad for putting on a broadcast and getting our names out there. We had a good waste quip Ford Mustang, and like I said, that Sunoco fuel gave us the victory.
Well, let's look forward to more momentum and hopefully get to talk to you here in a victory lane before the end of the season.
Oh yeah, we'll be trying.
Congratulations on a great win tonight.
All right, thank you.
That is your race winner, driver the number 35 waste quip Ford Mustang, Tyler Meeks, his first victory tonight. So gonna get you your grid as we close out tonight's race. We certainly saw a great battle on the track. A couple cautions mixed it up in the middle, caused us to get some varying strategies. Those provided for some great moments there at the end. Still great racing overall. We had almost everybody finishing this race out of our 17 starting field. So you see your final results there. Tyler Meeks again getting his first victory of the season. Joe Gregory getting his first podium of the season, bringing it home in second place. Kyle Holden looked like he was in control of that race and just lost a little bit to that fuel battle there at the end. Still brings it home in third. James Harris, great recovery. He finishes fourth. Harley Boletta finishing fifth. Russ Kilgore with a great finish, up 11 spots, finishing sixth. Chris Sawyer able to recover, finish to seventh. Janzik and Lorenzo struggling a little bit. They fall back to eighth and ninth on the grid. And William Mann Sr. closing out your top 10. You see 11th through 17th on the track. Unfortunately, we did have a few casualties of tonight's event. It was Dan Oliver, Robert Wynn, and Austin Habel. But a great race. Cannot commend these drivers enough for putting on a great show. And we look forward to all the fans that tuned in. Next week, we are going to be at Kansas Speedway. And we will see you back here at the same time, same place next week. Have it the 8th round of this season, and looking forward to another great battle. So again, thank you to all the fans tuning in. Thank you for Crazy Dog T-shirts, Subbies coming on sponsorship for this. And we look forward to seeing you here at the same time, same place next week. Have a great week, everybody.